Okay, this month we've been working on a specific theme of how to keep the house clean on a regular basis. And today, in this final video on this theme that we're going over, I'm going to talk about a specific system that is just ingenious. And if the organizationally gifted people knew about this, or even just what I call this closet slobs, people who are really good at getting everything together at home, but need to clean up before people come, kind of, and their bedroom might be a mess, their master bath might be a mess, drawers and closets might be a mess, but they generally have everything under control, but they're kind of always, behind the eight ball in one way or another, but they can open the door to company. So this is how it works, okay? Ready? This is what I teach in my course, Tidy Tutor University, now known as the Tidy Tutor Masterclass. You do the house in sections, in zones. I learned this from Pam and Peggy Jones, Sidetracked Home Executives, in their second book. I think it was called Get Your Act Together, where they changed from doing the house with a heavy cleaning day and a moderate cleaning day to doing the house in zones and sections. Pam Young said that she saw her husband one time outside doing the property, and she said we had a large property, and so her husband was in charge of that, and she asked him, how do you maintain it? How do you make sure that you get to it all? It seems like nothing ever gets away from you. And he said, oh, I do it in the section of the sprinkler zones. So when the sprinkler zone of this one goes off, I do this section, then the sprinkler zone of this one, I know what that section is, I do that section, and I do this throughout the month. And before you know it, everything's done, then it just starts all over again. And she realized she could do that at home. She could transform that into maintaining the house. Because, when Sidetracked Home Executives was written back in the late 70s, it was primarily written to stay-at-home moms and women who were home all day. And then, lots of things changed. Women went out into the work world. They had less time on their hands than they did before. And so the system had to change as well. So here's what it is. You ready? You choose a zone. There's 5 zones for each month. Okay, 5. The first week of the month and the last week of the month are small zones. In other words, there's only a few days in them. Once in a blue moon, you'll have a full week in the first week or the last week. But generally, sometimes there's only 1 day, sometimes 3 days. Take a look at your calendar, okay? So the first week and the last week, you'll choose a section of the house that doesn't have a lot to do on it. Now, not that doesn't have a lot to do in it right now. Like, let's say it's your powder room and your front entranceway. There's not a real lot to do there. There's very few things to do. Your entranceway maybe has, it has a front door, maybe has a window, possibly a closet, and a small little, postage stamp of floor. Your powder room has a toilet, a sink, and a floor, really. Maybe a window. That's it in a powder room. So these things generally don't have a lot to do. Now, if you have a whole bunch of stuff in your entranceway, say you have boxes and bags and clutter, and maybe your powder room hasn't been cleaned in a really long time, well, then it could be that there is a lot to do in there now. But we're thinking about as if everything was clean and clear, how much really has to be done in an entranceway and a powder room. Let's say another one for zones 1 and 5 would be a laundry area, a side entrance, a hallway and stairs. That would be 1. You would choose 1 or 5 for those areas. Now, weeks 2, 3, and 4 are things that require a lot more time in your life. Like, say, the kitchen. That deserves an entire one all to itself. So let's say week 2 was the kitchen. Week 3 might be the living room, dining room, if you have a dining room, breakfast nook. All right. Week 4 could be the bedrooms and the office. Okay. So, and when I say bedrooms, I mean all of the bedrooms. So if you have 4 bedrooms, then you would say you chose week 4 to be the bedrooms. If you don't live in all the bedrooms, you're not responsible for all the bedrooms. So don't think, I can't get to that all in 1 week. Well, first of all, you could. But second of all, if you have children that live in those bedrooms, those children are responsible for the bedrooms. Now, if they are young children, then of course you're responsible for the bedrooms, but you're responsible to help them learn how until they can do it themselves. If you have children who are grown and able to do it, then you might want to teach them how to clean a bedroom and maintain it, and then give it to them to do, okay? And then you personally would be responsible for your bedroom. And a lot of times we just make it like, if you have a master bathroom, it would be like your bedroom and your master bathroom. So you would have weeks 1 to 5, you would go through the entire house, so that by the time you went to the end of the month, every single room in your house has been thoroughly gone over. Now, in my course, Tidy Tutor University, now known as the Tidy Tutor Masterclass, we go over how to do that. And first, if you have a lot of clutter, first you declutter, then you clean. But once it's decluttered, and you would declutter the zone that week, then the next week you declutter the next zone, the next week you declutter the next zone, and you stay faithful to it that week, then you just keep going until it's decluttered. And once a section is totally decluttered, that's when you detail clean it. So you have an entire week to clean that section. You could do it all on a Saturday if you want to. You could do it on a Saturday and Sunday. You could break it up during the week. And if you don't live alone, it has to be delegated. And in that case, what I always did when I lived with my family was I would just say in the beginning of the week, this week is the kitchen zone, and everybody would know. And then I would say, okay, Emily, your job this week, or today, basically, because if you say this week, the whole week will go by and they'll think they have plenty of time. So you give them a job and you tell them when to do it. You give them supplies to do it. You say, all right, Emily, your job this week is all of the glassware in the living room and foyer. And you give her the Windex or whatever you use to clean glass. You give her the paper towels or whatever you use to wipe them with. And you say, here, go and do that now. Or you would be, very respectful, and you would say, when can you do this? Can you do this now? And if she says, no, I can't do it now, but I could do it then. Okay, you could do it then. Then you hold them accountable. Then they have to do it. Get it? So there's that. All right. There seems like there's quite a lot to it. And I guess there kind of is. There's a lot of little things that I got a lot of questions about with this. But on the whole, this is how it works. You break the house up into zones. First week, last week are things that don't require a real lot of time. Second, third, and fourth are more meaty sections of the home. You declutter before you clean. You do it in the week, starts Sunday to Saturday, then the next zone starts. Sunday to Saturday, then the next zone starts. Sunday to Saturday, then the next zone starts. The first week of the month, the last week of the month starts whenever that first is of that week. So if it starts, say the first week of the month starts on a Wednesday, then you just have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before you start the next zone. Now, the way we maintain the house throughout, because let's say your second week was the bedrooms. And so by the time you get around to the bedrooms again, many weeks had passed. So what you do is once a week, we do something called a once over day. In Sidetracked Home Executives, I think they call it a slipshod cleaning day. I call it a once over day. That's where you get through the house and a once over, right? You just go over it quickly. You don't do corners. You don't do anything really detailed. You just kind of dust around picture frames. You dust around things. You clean really, really quickly, as if somebody's coming over and they're coming over right now and you really want it to just be spruced up. And so that's what you do, the entire house that way. You will, wash the floors, vacuum the floors on once a week on your once over day. You can delegate this. You can break it up into doing your once over day all week, where you just do one thing or 15 minutes a day on your once over. That's really up to you. It really depends on, your lifestyle, your responsibilities inside and outside of the home. And there's that. I hope it wasn't really confusing. I go into it in detail in the course, Tidy Tutor University, or the Tidy Tutor Masterclass, as it is now known. And that's that. If you want to know more about the course and about my membership group that I have, where I am there to help you through all that it is that we've got to do at home, so that you have support, so that you're not alone, so that you have accountability, and so that you have time set aside to work on what it is that you need to work on, with special workshops once a month. That's included. The month coming up, we're doing the kitchen. Last month we did the 7 steps to declutter success, which was just so much fun. I'll click on the link and you can find out more. Okay, it's either in the description box or here on this page where you're watching this video. All right, thanks a lot for being with me. Please like, subscribe, share. This shows me your love and helps me to help more people. Mwah. Bye.